These are my new swing feels as a result of my open qualifying failure. But failing is learning. So if I hit a shot with a 7-iron, much like I used to, I'm going to hit this ball to the green. We're going to get a feel for the numbers that I generated. I get the club up here. I get through the ball. My head dips a little bit, which can sometimes throw the golf ball flight around if I'm trying too hard. Now, I like to have my sternum in a certain place to allow me to access the ball, to shape the ball in a certain way. And while I'm dipping my ear and sliding into it a little bit too much, that can get thrown around and I can get some errant shots from that. So the new feeling, and that's 191 carry, and I've faintly got 191 written on there. So that shot does what I predicted it would do. The peak height is 96.7 feet there, which isn't actually too bad, but it did creep up to 110, 115. And when you get the ball sneaking up to 110, 115 feet, when you go into wind, it's not very nice. But the new feelings I've got is that all of the effort, tension and squeeze and everything I have on the backswing, I want to take that out. I want to take all of that out of the backswing and I want to put all of that effort there. Through that bit, through impact. And this is stuff that I do actually teach people to do because it improves their game and it gives us more energy in the right place. But I just saw it in its element, in its full flow when I played golf with Thomas Plum. Now when I really try to get through there, again, body dips, right ear dips, and I come out of shape a little bit, I'm just holding my posture that little bit longer, getting through it easier. There's no dipping or anything there. And it's only cost me a few yards and it just feels so much easier to produce. Now when I was going flat out before and I tried to get the ball flight down, I could get it down, but again with all these excessive movements just made it really hard to repeat. So now if I try and flight one down, I'm trying to get it below 100 feet, I'm looking for something near 80. It's just so much easier to fall into place. Again, carry, pretty tidy, near the pin, lovely. I didn't exert myself nearly as much as I used to. And I've got that peak height down below 90 feet, that's 86.9. I can get it down lower from there without having to try and squeeze into the ball or get the grip ahead or anything. And my spin's still the same, so I'm still getting a lot of control into that green as well, while keeping it under the radar for wind. Now my ball speed used to max out at like 130. That was 129, which is absolutely welcome. Now I do need to perfect this, I do need to keep working on it because it really is a timing thing. And I was talking to a chap that's been in and around tour players for years, and he said that years ago he was in the vicinity of Nick Faldo having a golf lesson, and he was literally having a 2-hour lesson just on tempo. Now I get it. And my new point of reference is that I can get it up to that 191 still, but that is the bottom of the grip yardage. So it's kind of going between these two numbers until I get it perfected a bit more. So at the minute it's got a bit more spread than I'd like, but I can play golf with what's written on there rather easily. But I get to the top, I wait, I wait, I wait, I wait, I let it go. And that is absolutely brilliant in my mind. Takes the tension out of the body, frees up the tendons, frees up the muscles, frees up the brain. And if I pick out a random number here, so I've got a 52-degree wedge with 129 as the full shot. Let me just try and get a feel for how close to 129 that gets. Stick the pin at 130. Again, peak height used to get really high on these. I'm going to put it a little bit further back in the stance. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait. We get through the ball there. And what do we get? 131. Ooh, it's even more. Ooh. Oh, this is so good. Peak height 87. Lovely. I've been needing to get my flight down for ages. And then as a result of this feeling, it just comes down. I haven't even got to change my yardage on most of the clubs. There we go. That felt delightful. 130. And if I think back to how hard I was trying to get the 129 beforehand, it's much easier. Again, I'm kind of doing a bit of a spot check just to get a feel for what's good, what's not. let's go 5-iron. The number on here is 216. If I could flight this down below 80 feet, that would be lovely. Because into wind, a 5-iron going below 80 feet and maybe going around 216, it's going to be quite functional. So let's stick the pin at 230. Let's go for a little feeling in here. Gonna wait. Hang on. Oh, hi, I'm Thomas Plum. Yeah, I'm really good, actually. Just gonna rock up to here. Just gonna put the club down. Ah, yeah, I'm gonna hit it over there. Pick a tree over that way. Nice. I didn't even strike that good at all. And it's not far off. Still not fully embraced in the feeling. There he is. Oh, 216 target. 211 hit. I'm happy with that. What was the peak height on that? Peak height, under 100 please. 88, lovely. Now let's try and hit one low. Let's try and flight one down. Maybe not go as far left, but even still, I've got that down to 74 feet. That was not available to me before, and the carry, 216. Okay, I pulled it. See if I can get one on target. Okay, well, it wasn't on target, but it was anti-left. This is feeling good. 210, okay. Still needs a bit of refining, still needs a bit of fine-tuning, but it's more inspiring to know that I'm not even that far away from what I was really trying hard to get. And I think under pressure, it's going to be a lot easier to repeat. 86 peak height again. Need to get that flight down and keep it where that is. Easy breezy. Felt like I put nothing into that. 211, a little bit shy of the 216, fine. Finished 227, 97 peak height, okay. So I'm finding it hard to get it up to the 115 that I used to. Now if I need to get it up to 115, say I've got a tree in my way and I need to get it over, maybe I can tap into that little extra. Maybe I could do what I used to do, get that peak height back up, not hit the target as easily because I'm trying too hard, but the peak height gets back up to 110. And then when I go easy breezy, I get it from that 110. That was awful. Again, still needs a little bit of rehearsing, but in a way, it just gives me something to work on, which I haven't really felt the need to like really work on the swing for ages. But with this being such a new feeling, there we go. That's such a good feel. 210, cool. Less than what I thought. Functional, and in the wind, 78 feet peak height. It's a little bit shyer, but it's a lot lower. Beautiful. And I think sometimes when tour players like change coaches, they change coaches maybe because they just need some new feels. They need something new to work on. Sometimes someone's game can go a little bit stale if you're not working on anything or you're not working on enough. It just gets a bit complacent. But when you go to a new coach, or the tour players go to a new coach, they get some new drills, they get some new movements, they get some changes they need to put into place. So it gives them a reason to hit balls, it gives them a reason to try and find something. And sometimes I feel like tour players change coaches and they didn't really need to because they're playing good golf and they're doing well. But if they just need that little nudge of a new feeling to work on stuff, then maybe it can help. The main one that I'm thinking about here is Matt Kuchar. I don't think he should have changed coach. I don't think he should have changed his ball flight. He was really, really good. And then he just fell off a cliff when he started trying to hit a draw. So for him, that was a bad move. For some other golfers, and chuck your examples in the comments, they've done very well with a little swing change.